Roll the windows down and crack. Let that Delta breeze in. We just riding the rhythm tonight. Check it. Yeah. Midnight creep in the city, you're sleeping, I'm up. Got the blues in my soul and some brown in my cup. Guitar strings crying through the MPC pads, reflecting on the good times, letting go of the bad. I sparked a loud, watch the cherry glow bright in the dark, leaving the trail of gray clouds like aquarium mark on the atmosphere. Grabbing my gear, the notebook is frayed, writing rhymes in the shadows where the legends were made. The bass line is walking, taking a stroll down the block. No need to rush the tempo, man, we stopping the clock. Just me and the Mary Jane, a beautiful strain, washing away the grit, the hustle, the pain.
Oh, the smokestack is rising up to the moon. Got that boom bap rhythm and the blues tune. Leave your troubles at the door, let the ash just fall. When the smokestack blues come to answer the call, yeah, let it float away.
Take another pull, the room starts to tilt to the side. Nothing but peace in my mind, enjoying the ride. I hear a Monica wailing, cut with a scratch. Crossfader bleeding, the sound's a perfect match. I'm elevated, meditating on a 90s groove. You don't need a heavy tempo when you're trying to move. Just a nod of the head, a tap of the shoe, a fat blunt rolled tight in the classic view. From the fire escape, looking out at the neon glow, thinking about the pioneers and the seeds that they sowed. We harvest the grain, spark it up and create, turning minor chord sorrows into something great.
Oh, the smokestack is rising up to the moon. Got that boom bap rhythm and the blues tune. Leave your troubles at the door, let the ash just fall. When the smokestack blues come to answer the call, yeah, let it float away.
Lord, I'm feeling high. Pass it to the left. Keep the rotation smooth. Don't mess up the cipher.
Clip is pinching, we down to the end of the line, but the vibe is still heavy and the weather is fine. Resin on my fingertips, ink on the page. Got a sage like wisdom in this digital age. Just keep it analog, tape decks in the rawest of raps, connecting the dots, filling in all the gaps. So when you feel that weight pressing down on your chest, just pack up the glass, take a minute to rest. Let the blues wash over, let the boom bap hit, light the smokestack up. Yeah, that's it. Smokestack blues for the late night thinkers, the heavy smokers. Keep the peace.
Yo. Tighten up the circle. Clock just struck 12. We got the Rhodes piano humming and the chronic burning. Yeah. Midnight cipher in full effect. Mic check. 1, 2, let's ride. Underneath the amber glow of the street lamp buzzing, got the whole crew together, yeah, the cipher is cousin to the old school roots where the boom bap started before the culture got watered down and broken hearted. I got the swisher sweet split, dumping out the tobacco, filling it with the sticky green, loud as a crackle. Spark it up at the top, let it burn slow and steady. Mind sharp like a blade, yeah, my vocal cords ready, passing it to the left. That's the unwritten rules, spitting knowledge on the corner, man, the nighttime school. The bass line is a blanket wrapping up the whole block. We ain't checking on the time, we ain't watching the clock, just elevating our minds, leaving the concrete behind, seeking out the kind of peace that is the hardest to find. Exhale a thick cloud, watch it drift to the stars. Nothing but good weed, good people in bars. Near midnight cipher, pass the mic and the light. Elevate your mind, yeah, we doing it right. Keep the rotation moving, let the herbal smoke rise. Got the 90s rap rhythm and the bloodshot eyes. Midnight cipher, pass the mic and the light. When the blues hit the boom bap, we fly through the night. Second verse, second wind, the rotation returns. Watch the cherry turn bright every time that it burns. Got the muted horn playing softly deep in the mix. We don't need the auto
auto-tune or the digital tricks. Just the MPC 60 and the dusty old crate. Digging through the vinyl records, yeah, the feeling is great. Taking hits of the haze, putting thoughts on the page. Feeling like a young prophet in the digital age. My flow is a river, it's a slow-moving stream. Living out the 90s hip-hop golden era dream. I hear the hi-hat ticking like the pulse of the street. When the lyric and the rhythm and the cannabis meet, it's a holy communion. Yeah, we breaking the bread, taking away the heavy stress that was stuck in my head. So pass the blunt, pass the mic, let me speak my piece. Let the midnight cipher bring the sweet release. Yeah. Breathe it in. Hold it for a second. Now let it go. Don't mess up the rotation. Yeah. Third time around, now the roach is getting tiny, but the vibe in the circle is exceptionally shiny. Fingertips smelling like pine trees and resin. Every bar that I spit is a boom bap lesson. The city is quiet, just the hum of the bass, taking a lyrical journey to a different space. We the midnight scholars, the nocturnal rhymers, respecting the architects and the old school timers. As the ember dies out and the smoke clears the air, we just soaking in the music, ain't no worry or care. The cipher is sacred, it's a bond that we share, leaving all the heavy blues and the troubles right there. Yeah. Shout out to the late night crew. Keep the peace, keep it burning. Midnight cipher, shutting down. Catch you on the next rotation. Catch you on the next rotation.
Yeah. Down where the water gets muddy, where the blues is born and the green grows thick. We just blending the two. Sit back, let that slide guitar weep a little.
I'm at the crossroads, midnight, breaking down the trees. Got the boom bap knocking with a heavy southern breeze. Like guitar bending strings, crying out in pain, washing all the stress away, cleansing like the rain. I got the hydro packed tight in the glass bowl, taking deep hits, trying to soothe a weary soul. Thinking about the legends playing chords on the porch. Now I'm in the studio, yeah, I'm carrying the torch. The bass line is a river, slow and deep and dark, leaving a legacy with every single spark. Exhale a gray cloud, watch it hover on the swamp. We don't need a club banger, we don't need a stomp, just a head nod rhythm and a designated roller, keeping all the chaos and the madness in control of. Puffing on the delta where the history is deep, waking up the ancestors from the heavy sleep. Muddy water rising, smoke is in the air, leave your heavy burden, leave them right down there. Yeah, we puffing on the delta where the rhythm meets the soul. Got the 90s hip-hop pumping, let the good times roll. Muddy water rising, smoke is in the air, take a pull of the chronic and get out your chair. The organ starts humming, creeping up the spine. Got a mason jar sticky and the feeling is divine. I'm writing down my verses on a napkin from the diner, looking for a state of mind that couldn't be much finer. The snare drum cracking like a whip across the back, but the tempo is relaxed, yeah, we're staying on the track. Grinding up the resin, fingers sticky with the glue, mixing up the old school with a little something new. They say the blues is a feeling, a heavy kind of weight, but when I light the herb up, I begin to levitate above the muddy waters, above the Spanish moss, paying dues to the pioneers, never taking a loss. It's a spiritual connection when the cipher comes alive. Puffing on the delta, yeah, we strictly out to thrive. Let the slide guitar sing, let it echo in the night. Everything is heavy, but the soul is feeling light. Yeah, hold it in the lungs, let that medicine work its magic. You hear that? That's the sound of the roots. perfecting all the craft. The road just getting smaller, but the high's getting grand. Got the boom bap rhythm echoing across the land, from the boroughs of New York to the Mississippi mud. Got the hip hop and the blues flowing right inside the blood. We roll another paper, keep the fire burning bright, chasing off the shadows, stepping out into the light. Just a solitary poet with a microphone and weed, planting lyrical ideas like a farmer plants a seed. So let the hammer and organ fade, let the drum loop ride. We just puffing on a delta, floating with the tide. Yeah, the Delta Blues. For the heads that know the history, and the ones rolling up the future. Stay elevated.
Yeah. Lala on the boards tonight. We keeping it strictly analog, high fidelity sound. Watch the cherry glow. Ash and amber. Let it fall, let's go. Dim the lights down low, let the shadows hit the wall. Got the heavy kick drum, making sure the speakers crawl through the frequency of peace. Yeah, I'm rolling up the green, taking all the jagged edges off this everyday machine. Got a spark in the dark, watch the amber start to glow. Building up the inspiration, letting all the verses flow. It's a solitary practice, me, the mic, and the Mary Jane. Washing out the static and the traffic in my brain. I tap the ash into the tray, a mountain made of gray. Thinking about the moves to make and what I need to say. The bass line is a heartbeat, pumping through the chest, giving every weary traveler a heavy place to rest. I take a pull and let it linger, smoke escaping from the lips, navigating through the rhythm like a captain on a ship. We charting courses through the cosmos, grounded by the beat. Ash and amber on the floorboards right beneath my feet.
Watch the amber glow, watch the ashes fall.
Got my mind floating high above the city wall.
Yeah, it's the ash and the amber burning through the night.
Got the boom bap heavy and the herbal essence right.
Watch the amber glow, watch the ashes fall.
When the blues notes hit, we answering the call. I flick the ash again, the paper burning slow and tight. Nothing but the blue notes and the boom bap in the night. It's a legendary session, bringing healing to the mind, leaving all the heavy stress and the bitterness behind. I hear the guitar string bending, crying in the background, melting with the chronic. Yeah, I'm lost inside the track sound. Lala got the vision, putting pictures to the rhyme. We stepping out of rhythm just to freeze a bit of time. The smoke is like a curtain wrapping up the whole room, sweeping out the negativity, a heavy herbal broom. I inhale the sweet aroma, resin sticking to the thumb, making sure the snare is snapping, feeling beautifully numb. It's a chronic chronicle written in the hazy air, a testament to 90s hip-hop, handled with some care. So let the ember keep on burning, orange in the black. We never moving backward, always staying on the track.
Watch the amber glow, watch the ashes fall.
Got my mind floating high above the city wall.
Yeah, it's the ash and the amber burning through the night.
Got the boom bap heavy and the herbal essence right.
Watch the amber glow, watch the ashes fall.
When the blues notes hit, we answering the call. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta let it burn down to the filter, just to appreciate the spark. Pass it over here. The final millimeter burning hot against the clip, taking one last heavy hit before I let it slip into the ashtray graveyard, resting with the pioneers. We rolling up the memories and smoking out the fears. The instrumental fading, but the vibe is staying strong. A 3-minute meditation wrapped inside a rap song. We keep the essence strictly 90s, rugged and profound, taking flight upon the weed and landing on the sound. So gather up the amber, let the ashes hit the floor. Tomorrow night we'll roll another, maybe 3 or 4. Until then, keep the speakers thumping, let the rhythm play, and let the heavy smoke just carry all the blues away. Yeah, ash and amber, keep the rotation tight, keep the high fidelity. Lala signing off. Yeah, ash and amber.
Yeah.
Turn the bass up a little bit in the headphones right there. Perfect. Welcome to the Blue Note and Boom Bap sessions. We mixing the groove with the ganja today. La la on the mix, let the rhythm take over. 1, 2, check it. Stepping in the studio, the sticky in my palm. Got the 90s boom bap playing, keeping everything calm. While I pedal grind like it's got a lot to say. Grinding up the herbal just to wash the blues away. I pack a heavy bowl, hit the switch and spark a flame. We don't do it for the clout, we don't do it for the fame. Just for the love of the snare and the kick drum. Hitting so hard that my fingertips go numb. Floating on the bass line, thick as molasses. Taking off the shades and the heavy tinted glasses. Looking at the world through a cloud of the chronic. Everything is smooth, everything is stereophonic. I take another pull, let the THC hit. Rhyming on the rhythm while I'm lounging in the pit. It's the groove and the ganja, a magical blend. Taking a musical journey that is never gonna end. Catch the groove, yeah.
Spark the ganja when the heavy bass hits, you know we moving beyond.
Catch the groove, yeah.
Spark the ganja, elevated mind, stay drifting like a wanderer. Leave the blues at the door, let the rhythm take control. Yeah, we mixing up the chronic with a little bit of soul. Yeah, yeah.
Second verse sliding in smooth as the smoke rings. Listen to the melody the funky guitar brings. It's a 420 cipher, a circle of the saints. Painting heavy pictures without using any paints. Just syllables and nouns, verbs in a fat blunt. Moving to the back while the rhythm's up front. My eyes getting heavy but my focus is so sharp. Plucking on the strings like a heavenly harp. But it's just an NPC in a dusty crate of wax. Paying all my dues and avoiding all the tax on the spiritual energy. Keeping it strictly pure when the modern world is crazy. Yeah, the ganja is the cure. I exhale a cloud, watch it dance with the light. Everything is heavy, but the feeling is so right. We chasing down the groove, trying to catch it in a jar. Smoking on the best while we aiming for a star.
Catch the groove, yeah. Spark the ganja when the heavy bass hits, you know we moving beyond.
Catch the groove, yeah.
Spark the ganja, elevated mind, stay drifting like a wanderer. Leave the blues at the door, let the rhythm take control. Yeah, we mixing up the chronic with a little bit of soul. Hey.
Yeah, feel that pocket. That's where the magic happens, right in the cut. Bring the drums back, let them drop. Yeah, yeah.
Third time around and the cypher's fully baked. No synthetic vibes, ain't a single thing fake. Just raw hip-hop and a pocket full of green. The most relaxing session that you ever really seen. We passing the baton, yeah, we passing the cigar. Navigating through the galaxy without a single car. Just riding on the frequencies, heavy and profound. Anchored to the earth by the low-end sound. So keep the rotation, don't let the cherry die. We got a couple hours and a whole lot of sky to explore with the mind. Kicking back in the chair with the groove and the ganja floating heavy in the air. When the record finally stops and the needle hits the wax, we just roll another one and we totally relax.
Yeah, groove and ganja.
A perfect pairing like the snare and the hi-hat. Keep it rolling, keep it real.
The whole world is asleep, except us and the boom bap. Listen to the rhythm of the spark. It's a lullaby for the restless. Just breathe. Lights are dim, the insomnia is creeping.
got the heavy eyelids, but my mind is done with sleeping. So I reach across the nightstand, grab the little wheel, looking for the herbal remedy to help me heal from the static of the day, all the noise and all the rush. I just want the heavy bass and the universal hush. Strike the flame, watch the tiny orange spark like a solitary firefly glowing in the dark. It's the light of flick lullaby, keeping me in tune, blowing heavy smoke rings up against the bedroom moon. Got the Tuesday guitar weeping softly on the track. Ain't no need to push forward, ain't no need to look back. Just existing in the moment where the resin meets the fire, elevating past the ceiling, going a little higher with every single rotation of the thumb against the metal, waiting for the heavy thoughts and the turbulence to settle. Flick the wheel, catch the spark, let the shadows play. Smoke is rising to the ceiling, washing it away. It's the light of flick lullaby, soothing to the soul. When the boom bap and the blues take complete control. Flick the wheel, catch the spark, let it burn slow. Got nowhere to be tonight, got nowhere to go, got nowhere to be tonight, got nowhere to go. I take a slow pull, let it fill up the chest. This is how the old souls put their weary minds to rest. Got the MPC humming in the corner of the room, sweeping out the negative, a heavy herbal broom. The rim shot is knocking, but it's gentle on the ear, making all the daily paranoia disappear. Just me and the Mary Jane, a beautiful affair, floating on the frequencies and breathing in the air. I hear the blues notes spinning, pulling at the heart, but the chronic puts it back together, every single part. We weaving through the melody, heavy and serene, lost inside the beauty of the sticky and the green. So strike the lighter one more time, let the rhythm catch. Ain't a single other feeling that can never truly match the peace of the midnight, the comfort of the haze, walking through the boom bap in a deeply mellow maze. Yeah, let the muscles relax, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw. Yeah, let the lullaby work. The final verse dropping as the ember fades to ash. We don't do it for the glory, we don't do it for the cash. Just a spiritual necessity, a sonic kind of bomb, finding in the center of the storm a heavy calm. The lighter getting warm against the center of my palm, chanting 90s hip-hop like a dedicated song. My eyes are finally heavy, yeah, the couch lock is real, but I'm loving every second of the way it makes me feel. Sinking in the cushions, letting go of all the weight, knowing that the morning gonna handle its own fate. Right now it's just the music and the medicine combined, leaving all the complicated misery behind. So let the tape deck roll until the side is completely done. We flying through the midnight and hiding from the sun with the light of flick lullaby playing on repeat, finding total perfection in a boom bap beat. Yeah, good night to the city. Yeah, yeah. Good night to the stress. Let the tape ride out. Sometimes you gotta just stop, look around, fill up the lungs, let the boom bap wash over the blues. Ready? Breathe with me. Breathe. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
deep inhale, expanding the chest, putting all the daily paranoia to rest. Got a pocket full of green and a head full of rhymes, navigating through these complicated heavy times. The snare drum snaps right on the 2 and the 4, leaving all the toxic energy outside the door. I pour the smoke slow, let it travel down deep, waking up the third eye from a century of sleep. You can feel the organ humming right beneath the floorboards, tuning up the spirit with a couple major chords. It's a sonic medication, a boom bap prescription, define every boundary and standard description. I hold it in the lungs for a second or two, letting every single molecule of healing push through. Then I let the verse drop on the microphone stand with the heaviest delivery across the whole land. Just breathing in the rhythm, exhaling the doubt. That's exactly what this 90s hip-hop is about. Take a deep inhale, hold it right there, blow the smoke to the sky, forget about the care. Take a deep inhale, hold it right there, when the blues notes hit, we walk in every pain. Take a deep inhale, hold it right there, when the blues notes hit, we walking on the air. Yeah, yeah. I hit the blunt again, feel the cherry burn hot, giving every single ounce of the focus that I got to the rhythm and the poetry, the kick and the hat. We keeping it organic, yeah, as simple as that. The world's spinning fast, but we slowing down the pace. Got a peaceful state of mind and a smile on the face. The bass line is walking like it's strolling through the park, illuminating all the heavy shadows in the dark. I inhale the positivity, breathe out the stress. Ain't settling for anything that's looking like less than a high fidelity masterpiece, strictly from the soul, putting every broken piece of me back into a whole. We roll another paper, watch the ashes gently drop. Ain't a mountain high enough to make the music ever stop. Just a constant elevation, a steady upward climb, perfecting all the breath control and mastering the rhyme. So when you feel the pressure, just remember what to do. Let the boom bap and the herbal lessons carry you. Yeah, don't rush it. Inhale the good shit, exhale the bullshit. Inhale the good shit, let the horns bring it back. Inhale the good shit, let the horns bring it back. Now the clarity is absolute, standing by the tree of life, gathering the fruit. Got a mind full of wisdom and a lung full of haze, walking out the labyrinth, stepping out the maze. The 90s era golden, yeah, we keeping it alive, pumping through the speakers, making sure the culture thrive. I take a final pull before the instrumental ends, passing round the peace pipe to my closest of friends. The blues ain't nothing but a feeling to transcend. A broken heart is something that the melody can mend. So take a deep inhale, let the lungs expand wide. Got the rhythm on my left and a chronic on my side. We floating on the atmosphere, heavy and serene. A masterpiece of audio, the cleanest ever seen. Just breathing out the verses, letting go of the control, and giving up the steering to the music and the soul. Yeah, keep that energy. Yeah, the hell, the rush. Hold on to that feeling. Yeah, the hell, the rush. Track 7 wrapping up, stay lifted.
Yeah.
Dump the guts out on the table.
We need a dog lead for this one. I got the MPC smoking in the corner. Hear that kick drum, that's that mud. Break down the sticky, let's build. I peel the leaf back, taking out the center vein. Got the boom bap rhythm pumping straight into the brain. It's a gritty kind of blues, walking on the muddy road.
Carrying the culture in a heavy herbal load. I take the grinder, twist it till the flowers looking right. Got the studio illuminated by the amber light. Pack it in the leaf tight, roll it like a masterpiece. Looking for the center where the chaos and the madness sees. The snare drum cracking like a whip across the avenue. Playing strictly analog, we ain't doing nothing new. Just paying homage to the architects who built the floor. When the heavy bass knocks on the heavy wooden door, I lick the edge, seal it up, make sure it's a heavy shell. Spark it at the tip and inhale the funky smell. The backwood is burning, the cherry looking red and mean. Mixing up the dark tobacco with the brightest green. We step into the mic, leaving all the fakes behind. Got a heavy boom bap in a totally elevated mind.
Boom bap knocking in the backwood burning. Keep the record spinning, keep the cipher turning.
Yeah, the kick drum bumping through the center of the chest. When the boom bap in the backwoods are put to the test.
Boom bap knocking in the backwood burning. Keep the record spinning, keep the cipher turning.
Leave the digital alone, we keeping it strictly raw. The heaviest concoction that the 90s ever saw. I pass the log to the left, let the homie take a pull. Got a notebook of the rhymes and the pages completely full of the observations. Walking through the city streets, matching up the poetry with lawless heavy beats. The crutch with the guitar looping, dripping with the swampy sweat. Ain't a single combination that can never pose a threat to the 420 cipher. Fortified by heavy smoke, we ain't looking for a laugh. We ain't spitting out a joke, just delivering the gospel of the rhythm and the weed. Planting deep inside the underground a heavy little seed. I watch the smoke billow thick like a winter fog. Chopping up the samples, cataloging in the log. Every single frequency, every single hi-hat tap. Navigating through the universe without a single map. Just the instinct of the soul and the heavy resin buzz. Remembering the golden era exactly how it was. So let the blunt burn down, let it turn into the ash. We making timeless music, never doing it for cash. Yeah, that hits the back of the throat. That's that raw flavor. Boom, black Mac and bring the beat back. Third verse, rugged, spitting gravel on the microphone. Sitting in the cipher, but I'm completely in my zone. The backwood is shrinking, getting hot against the lip. Taking one less heavy drag before I let the finger slip and drop it in the ashtray, right beside the other ones. We battle with the syllables, never any guns. Just a heavy vocabulary and a perfect sense of time. A heavy bag of chronic and a complicated rhyme. The blues is in the marrow, the hip hop in the blood. Rising up like a lotus flower growing in the mud. So turn the volume up until the studio begins to shake. Ain't a single compromise that we are ever gonna make. It's the boom bap rhythm in the backwoods smoke. The most authentic language that the culture ever spoke. We wrapping up the session, letting the guitar ring. A heavy kind of magic when the gritty angels sing.
Boom bap napping in the route.
Yeah, keep that rotation going.
Boom bap, boom bap, boom bap.
Don't ash on the rug. Boom bapping backwood, backwood, backwood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sun's coming up.
Been in the lab all night. Lala still got the tape deck rolling. Look out the window, man, you see that? The purple and gold. Let's paint it.
The city silhouette is painted on the morning sky. Still got the heavy resin burning and I'm floating high. The neon lights are fading out, the street is getting still. Just sitting by the window frame and staring past the sill. Got a fresh cup of coffee and a newly twisted cone. Enjoying the tranquility of being in the zone. The snare drum got an echo like it's bouncing off the glass. Watching all the heavy clouds and early shadows pass. I take a slow drag, mash the cherry to the sun. The midnight shift is over, but the music's never done. It's a cinematic feeling, the boom bap in the air.
Washing out the tired eyes and lifting up the care. The bass line is a melody, a gentle kind of walk. No need to raise the volume, ain't no need for us to talk. Just let the blues guitar do exactly what it does. Basking in the golden hour and the herbal buzz.
There's a haze on the horizon, watch the morning break. Leave the heavy night behind, let your spirit wake.
Yeah, the purple and the orange mixing with the chronic smoke. Best therapy session that the old souls ever spoke.
There's a haze on the horizon, watch the morning break.
When the blues hit the boom bap,
Ain't no moves to fail.
I rest my elbow on the glass, looking at the street. The pavement is completely empty, holding up the beat. A solitary cab is rolling slowly down the block. I'm perfectly untethered from the ticking of the clock. The ash is getting long, I let it tap into the tray, reflecting on the blessings that are coming round my way. It's easy to get lost inside the struggle and the grind, but the 90s era rhythm helps to realign the mind. And the Mary Jane is acting like a compass in the dark, guiding all the heavy thoughts and leaving up a mark. I pull the smoke deep, feeling like a steady king. Listen to the poetry to emphasize a bring. It's a beautiful collision of the hip-hop and the soul, keeping all the shattered pieces glued into a hole. So let the haze settle, let it hover on the brink. Give a brother half a minute just to sit and think. Yeah. A new day, but we still carry the lessons from the night. Bring that rhythm back and softly. Third verse for the sunrise, kicking off the day. The heavy blues of yesterday is safely put away. The roaches burning fingertips, a sacrifice to make for the clarity of vision and the steps I need to take. Got the high fidelity ringing loudly in the ear, pushing out the doubt and wiping out the sudden fear. I step away from the window, walk across the wooden floor. Ain't looking for a handout, ain't asking for no more than a solid boom bap beat and a heavy bag of weed. The universe providing every single thing I need. Lala got the mix perfect, fading out the heavy drum. We waiting for the beautiful, the marble still to come. So let the haze on the horizon slowly start to clear. The music is the only thing I ever wanna hear. We wrap the session up and put the microphone away, ready for whatever comes, ready for the day. Yeah. Good morning to the world. Haze on the horizon. Keep your head up, keep your lungs full.
Man, somebody pass the water. Throat feels like sandpaper right now, but we ain't stopping the session. Lala, keep that loop running, that dry roads piano. Yeah, let me just catch my breath. Got a desert in my mouth, but an ocean in my mind, leaving all the petty drama and the stress behind. But the vocal cords are scratching like a dusty vinyl plate. Spark a heavy backwood right around 7:45. Now it's deep inside the session, yeah, the room is fully baked. Every syllable's authentic, ain't a single feeling fake. But I need a sip of something, maybe juice or maybe ice. When you smoking on the heavy, yeah, you gotta pay the price. The snare drum gotta snap like a dried out wooden twig, taking hits from the glass, yeah, the clouds are looking big. Got the cotton
cotton mouth creeping, sticking tongue against the teeth, while the heavy 90s bass is vibrating underneath. I'm a lyrical oasis in a barren wasteland, spitting boom bap poetry and shifting up the sand. I take another drop, who let the cherry turn to ash. We just chasing down the feeling, we ain't running after cash. Hey. Food is getting dry, but the fire's burning hot. Give it everything I had, give it everything I got. Yeah, playing on the cotton mouth chords, keeping it strictly raw. The heaviest of blues, the blues that you ever really saw. Throat is getting dry, but the fire's burning hot. Need a glass of water, but I'm locked into the spot. I hit the blunt again, watch the smoke dry up the air. Got the heavy eyelids drooping, sinking deeper in the chair. I can hear the harmonica crying out across the dune. Just a solitary stoner howling softly at the moon. Every word is feeling heavy like I'm chewing on the bass. Got a slow motion rhythm and a deeply tranquil face. The saliva evaporated, left the wisdom in its wake. Got a thirst I need to quench, got a habit I won't break. Cause the marijuana medicine is working on the soul, while the blues and the boom bap take completely full control. I tap the ash onto the rug, didn't even try to reach. Spitting heavy parables like I'm standing up to preach. But the sermon is a whisper gravelly and full of grit. Never gonna compromise, never gonna ever quit. Even when the vocal pipes are feeling like a desert road, I just let the rhythm carry this exceptionally heavy load. Yeah, that's better. Gotta hydrate if you're gonna elevate. Yeah. That harmonica back, let it weep. Third verse, vocal cords are finally feeling slick again. Putting down the microphone and picking up the heavy pen. The cotton mouth is fading, but the higher staying put. Got the rhythm of the city completely anchored to the foot. We tapping on the floorboards, matching up the snare, blowing out a massive cloud into the studio air. The chords are sounding dusty like an old saloon guitar, traveling across the beat without a map or shooting star. Just trusting in the process and the magic of the weed, planting deep inside the culture yet another heavy seed. So let the track play out, let the drop piano ring. Ain't a single other joy that the universe can bring, like a 90s hip-hop cypher when the blues is perfectly laced, leaving absolutely nothing utterable to go to waste. Yeah, cottonmouth people, la la, fade that out nice and slow. Yeah, we into the second half of the tape now. Fingertips are getting sticky. La la, got the drum break, sounding like it's coated in honey. That slow, heavy drip, risen and rhythm, let it stick to your ribs. Yeah. I'm scraping out the grinder, looking for the heavy dust in the boom bap rhythm and the 90s era trust. Got the resin on my thumb, sticking to the rolling page, a testament of patience in the fast and digital age. The kick drum is a mallet knocking softly on the door, leaving little flakes of the green upon the floor. I roll it up tight, make sure the airflow is right, ready for heavy elevation in the middle of the night. The upright bass is sliding, walking right across the fret. Ain't a single expectation that I haven't fully met. Just breathing in the smoke, letting all the toxins fade, chilling in the shadow that the heavy acoustic made. Every syllable is glued to the snapping of the snare. I just exhale the magic in the studio air. It's a gritty kind of blues, a sticky kind of soul, putting all the broken fragments safely back into a hole. Resin on the fingers, rhythm in the mind, leave the fakes and the phonies and the stress behind. Yeah, stuck inside the pocket, perfectly encased in wax. When the heavy chronic hits, we just naturally relax. Resin on the fingers, rhythm in the mind, the heaviest of elements are perfectly combined. I hit the loud again, the cherry glowing super deep, waking up the ancestors from out their heavy sleep. The wah pedal grind like it's
dripping with the sweat. It's the most authentic session that you're ever gonna get. Got Lala on the mix, making sure the levels peak, giving every weary traveler exactly what they seek. A sonic piece of amber, freezing moments in the time. A heavy bag of medicine, a heavy kind of rhyme. The paper burning slow because the inside is so dense. We don't need a heavy intro, we don't need the false pretense. Just a microphone and cable, an MPC and some weed, providing every single thing a hip-hop head could need. I tap the ash away, but the sticky feeling stays, lost inside a beautiful and deeply herbal maze, where the blues is just a vehicle to carry all the pain, and the boom bap is the umbrella covering the rain. Yeah, you feel how it just lingers. That's that residue, the good kind. Yeah, stay in the pocket. Drop that snare back in. Third verse, the rotation is moving exceptionally slow. Got a deeply peaceful feeling and a heavy internal glow. The resin building up, turning golden in the glass. Watching all the petty drama and the paranoia pass. Every line I spit is anchored to the heavy bassline groove. I don't even need to stand, I don't even need to move. Just riding on the frequency, sitting in the heavy chair, blowing out a masterpiece into the midnight air. The 90s golden era, yeah, we keeping it intact. A highly elevated and a totally undisputed fact. So let the rhythm carry you, let the resin hold you down. We the heaviest philosophers inside this lonely town. Just wrapping up the session, letting the guitar sustain a beautiful collision of the chronic and the brain. Yeah, resonant rhythm. Wash your hands when you're done, but keep the soul dirty. Lala, let that tape piss right out.
You might have to turn the tempo down even more. I don't think I can stand up right now. Gravity is hitting different on this one. We officially sinking into the cushion. Just let the bass drum check it.
My limbs are feeling heavy like they made of solid lead. Got a million elevated thoughts running through my head, but the physical is rooted, totally glued to the chair. Blowing heavy, lazy smoke rings up into the air. I reach to tap the ash, but my arm is moving slow. Got nowhere to be tonight and got nowhere to go. The slide guitar is weeping like a willow in the rain, washing out the stress and completely numbing the pain. I sink into the leather, let the cushions swallow me whole. Got a boom bap rhythm vibrating right through my soul. It's the couch lock chronicles written in the deep haze, navigating through a heavy and beautiful blue maze. The snare drum hits, but it's delayed in the mind, leaving every single worry and responsibility behind. Just me and the Mary Jane, locked inside an embrace, floating totally unbothered through the outer realms of space. Body stuck to the seat, mind flying away. Let the heavy blues roll, let the boom bap play. Yeah, gravity pulling me down, deeply locked in the zone. Can't move a muscle, I'm a king on a velvet throne. Body stuck to the seat, mind flying away. Got the couch lock heavy, ain't got nothing to say. I take another pull without even leaning ahead. Every single syllable a heavy drop a lid. The room is turning into a spaceship, flying completely blind, leaving the chaotic atmosphere of the planet behind. The bass line humming like an engine running on the green. The most relaxing journey that this galaxy has seen. I watch the cherry glow, a tiny beacon in the dark, leaving on the fabric of the universe a heavy mark. The blues is in the corner, nodding along to the beat. A solitary symphony of the concrete in the street. I try to lift my foot to tap it perfectly in time, but I just decide to sit and put the energy in rhyme. It's a beautiful paralysis, a totally welcome way, avoiding all the negative and sidestepping the hate. When you're smoking on the heavy, yeah, you gotta pay the toll and sacrifice the movement for the healing of the soul.
can somebody pass the remote? Oh, never mind, it's too far. Let the tape ride.
Dropping heavy, barely keeping up the pace. Got a totally contented and peaceful look on my face. The roach is burning down, almost touching on the skin. A solitary champion, completely secure in the win. The 90s, they're a boom bap, acting as a heavy quilt, protecting all the beautiful foundations that we built. I close my eyelids, watch the colors swirling in the dark. Got the heavier blues, the blues completely hitting the mark. Ain't a single other feeling that can replicate the peace when the physical surrenders to the wonderful release. We chronicle in the couch lock, putting it inside a song, a heavy meditation where you totally belong. So let the music carry you, let the gravity win, let the heavy of the guitar completely reel you in. We wrapping up the session without getting off the seat, sinking totally down deep into the boom bap beat.
Yeah, Couch Lock Chronicles. I'm not going anywhere. Lala, when this tape finishes, you're gonna have to flip it.
Yeah. Had to get up off the leather. Roll the windows down, let the city air. Lala got the instrumental bumping through the speakers. You on the move now. Spark it up for the ride, let's go. Yeah, yeah. Had to get up off the leather. Chase the chronic down. Yeah. Look at how far. Let's shake the heavy off. Stepping out into the breeze, got a brand new backwoods, breaking down the tree. The couch lock is broken, yeah, the energy's back. Got the tires rolling perfectly in time with the track. The piano keys are walking, hitting every single chord, navigating through the concrete, never getting bored. Sparking by the steering wheel, watch the amber glow, keeping all the paranoia and the profile low. We the chronic chasers, always looking for the spark, leaving heavy trails of the smoke out in the dark. The boom bap is bouncing right along the avenue, mixing up the classic 90s with a little something new. I pass it to the passenger, a cipher on the road, carrying the culture in the heavily herbal load. The snare drum is cracking like a whip against the night. Everything is elevated, everything is right. Chase the chronic down, let the heavy engine hard. Take a hit of the boom back. Look at how far we come. Yeah. Cruising through the city with the rhythm and the jazz, looking for the perfect high, strictly smoking on the best. Chase the chronic valve, let the heavy engine hum. Take a hit of the boom valve. The street lights are passing, make the shadows on the dash. Got the rhythm in the soul, ain't worried about the cash. Just the high fidelity pump, strictly out the trunk, mixing up the Mississippi blues with the funk. Take the blunt back, let the cherry get the work, dodging all the drama where the negativity lurk. It's a solitary mission, but the vibe is universal. Every single cipher is a legends, every rehearsal for your ultimate performance, playing on the world stage, writing down the history on the footy smoked out page. I blow a thick cloud straight out into the wind, knowing where the rhythm stops and where the blues begin. Lala got the tempo sitting right at 9 to flat. Ain't a single other producer that can never mess with that. We chasing down the feeling, the euphoria and peace, hoping that the 90s era magic never cease. Yeah, stop at the red light, let the bass rattle the rear view mirror.
Keep it moving, don't stop.
Get the green light, drop the drum. The third first cruising, yeah, we headed past the bridge. Looking at the skyline, sitting heavy on the range. The roaches getting tiny, almost burning up the nail. But the chronic chaser mission is a shit that never fail. Got the golden arrow pumping, making sure the legacy lasts. Paying all the proper homage to the legends of the past. I flicked the little ember out the window to the street, completely satisfied by the marijuana and the beat. The tank is getting low, with the stereo flying high. Just a couple midnight riders underneath the purple sky. We pull up to the spot, put the engine in the bar, leaving yet another heavy masterpiece inside the door. So turn the volume down, let the piano slowly fade, reflecting on the beautiful decisions that we made. We chased the chronic down, caught the feeling in the jar, guided by the boom bap and the solitary star. Yeah, chronic chase, we made it to the destination. Dollar, shutting the engine off. Chase, 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 chase the chronic down. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, how far we come.
Tempo beat beep here. Vibe majestic, cinematic, intensely focused. A grand but slow moving stoner epic. Sweeping but dusty, heavy. Plotting drum break. Deep upright bass and mournful electric guitar swells in the background. Deliberate, majestic. And commanding the flow is spacious, leaving room for the orchestra samples to breathe. Feeling almost like spoken word poetry over a heavy beat.
Yeah. Welcome to the Blue Note and Boom Bap Lounge. Lala on the tables, spinning the dusty wax. We got a special menu tonight. Rolling up that jazz cabbage, get comfortable. Let the trumpet speak.
Step into the lounge, leave your jacket at the door. Got the upright bass, walking heavy on the floor. Got the muted trumpet crying in the corner of the room, washing away the stress and sweeping out the daily gloom. I reach into my pocket, pull the paper in the green. The smoothest operation that the city ever seen. I break the flour down, smelling like a piney wood, keeping all the energy exactly where I should. I twist it like a saxophone, tight around the edge, stepping out the matrix and walking off the ledge. Spark the jazz cabbage, let the cherry catch the spark, illuminating all the heavy shadows in the dark. The ride cymbal swinging, skipping right across the beat, sending heavy vibrations straight down to my feet. I take a smooth drag, let the melody expand. The coolest cat smoking in the middle of the band. Roll that jazz cabbage, let the trumpet play. Blow the smoke into the lights, let it float away. Yeah, hitting on the heavy while the organ starts to swell, where the rhythm and the chronic and the ancestors dwell. Roll that jazz cabbage, let the trumpet play, let the trumpet play. When the 90s boom bap hits, we got a lot to say. I pass it to the drummer, let him take a heavy pull. Got the ashtray overflowing and the glass completely full. The snare drum got a snap, but it's sitting in the cut. No need to rush the tempo, keeping all the chatter shut. Just nodding to the rhythm, eyelids getting low, watching all the hazy rings of smoke begin to grow and wrap around the microphone, a halo in the night, making sure the syllables and cadences are right. It's the golden era feeling mixed with Coltrane and Miles, replacing all the heavy frowns with elevated smiles. I take it back, inhale the jazz, right into the lungs, speaking out the poetry of an ancient mother tongue. The Hammond organ swirling, dripping like a heavy rain, washing all the paranoia right out of the brain. We smoking on the finest, yeah, the top shelf reserve, catching every single pocket, hitting every single curve. Yeah, you hear that pocket? That's where the magic lives, right between the notes. Bring the horn back. Give it some breath. Yeah, third set starting and the joint is getting small, but the vibe inside the room is standing exceptionally tall. I'm tapping on my thigh, catching all the syncopation, delivering a deeply herbal kind of revelation to the heads in the back, sitting quiet in the booth, searching through the boom bap for a heavy kind of truth. I hold the final hit, let the resin burn the lip, taking off the gravity, preparing for the trip to the outer stratosphere, carried by the heavy horn where the 90s hip-hop and the jazz rap were born. It's a beautiful collision of the eras in the sound, keeping both my feet completely planted on the ground, while my mind is in the cosmos, floating on the weed, planted inside the culture, yet another heavy seed. So let the jazz cabbage burn down to the absolute end. The music and the marijuana, my two closest friends. Yeah, jazz cabbage joint. Keep the rotation cool, keep the mind sharp. La la, fade the upright bass out.
Yeah. Earth, wine, fire, and water. We need all of them to make this happen. Lala got the storm brewing right here on the boards, and let the elements elevate you. Listen to the rain. Let's go.
Raindrops tapping on the studio glass, watching how the heavy gray clouds slowly pass. Got a mason jar of the earthy green, the most natural medicine the world has seen. We take the fire, spark the tip of the leaf, finding in the boom bap a heavy relief. The water in the peace bubbling up to the top. Once the rhythm gets going, we are never gonna stop. It's the air in the lungs, pushing out the rhyme, navigating through the pockets of the space and time. We the elevator elements, grounded by the bass, taking off and flying through the outer realms of space. A heavy blues guitar crying out in the storm, keeping all the ancestors and the spirits warm. I take a slow drag, let the nature connect, giving every single frequency the utmost respect. Earth to the fire, water to the air, elevate the mind state, get out of the chair. Yeah, we mixing up the elements, smoking on the best. The 90s era boom bap put through the heavy tear. Earth to the fire, water to the air. When the blues notes hit, we ain't got a single care. The second verse dropping like a heavy downpour, shaking up the hinges on the studio door. But inside it is peaceful, deeply serene, wrapped inside the magic of the sticky and the green. The fire on a cherry burning bright as a star, traveling across the universe without a car, just riding on the rhythm that the MPC makes, dodging all the industry and artificial fakes. The water in the glass keeping vocal cords wet, the heaviest of ciphers that you're ever gonna get. We pull the heavy air right back into the chest, leaving all the paranoia safely at rest. The earth is in the paper, rolling up the soil, escaping from the daily and the heavy physical toil. It's a natural true connection, the rhythm and the weed providing every single thing a hip-hop head could need. Yeah, feel that energy. You aren't just in the storm, you are the storm. DJ Cup, bring the thunder. The heavy kick drum slams back and echoing loudly. The third verse striking like a lightning bolt, giving every single listener a heavy jolt. But the vibe is still chill, rooted in the blues, paying all the 90s their heavy hip-hop dues. The roach is getting tiny, going back to the earth, measuring the golden era for its total worth. The fire is fading, turning into the ash. We ain't making music for the digital cash, just elevating elements and feeding the soul, keeping all the broken pieces in a perfect whole. So let the wind blow, let the heavy rain fall, answering the beautiful and natural call. We wrap up the cypher, let the heavy clouds clear, the most authentic music that you ever gonna hear. Yeah, elevated element. Respect the earth, respect the rhythm. La la, let that storm roll out, let it wash us clean.
Yeah. Step past the bouncer, leave the industry at the door. Welcome to the green room. Yeah. La la. Turn that bass up in the monitors. We only smoking the top shelf reserve tonight. Get comfortable, let the horn sit. Yeah. Step into the haze, right behind the main stage, writing down the history on a fully smoked out page. The green room is sacred, a heavy VIP, but we ain't popping bottles, strictly THC. I break down the sticky looking like a frosted pine. The energy is heavy and the feeling is divine. We don't need the flashing lights, don't need the paparazzi, just a heavy boom bap rhythm and somebody who can spot me when I pass the heavy glass. Making sure the cypher spin, washing out the losses and celebrating the win. The electric piano ringing like a bell inside the mind, leaving all the fakes and the counterfeits behind. I take a heavy drag, blow a cloud up to the vent, making sure that every single syllable is meant. It's the green room groove, a legendary space, putting a totally permanent smile right on my face. Yeah, welcome to the green room. Yeah, the air is getting thick, got the boom bap pumping and the light about. Leave your ego at the door, we strictly rolling up the best. A 90s era cypher putting heavy lungs to the test. Welcome to the green room. Yeah, the air is getting thick when the blues hit the rhythm, it's a totally magic trip. I tap the ash into the crystal on the table, keeping all the frequencies exceptionally stable. Lala got the MPC hooked into the PA, making sure the heavy blues notes get a chance to play. The brass stabs hitting exactly on the downbeat, a totally elevated escape from the concrete. We sitting on the leather, passing around the heavy jar. Ain't a single person in the room trying to be a star, just architects of rhythm, philosophers of smoke, respecting every single word the golden era spoke. I spark a fresh paper, let the cherry glow red, silencing the static that was rattling in my head. The bass line is funky, a deeply heavy strut, keeping the rotation tight and keeping the circle shut. To anybody bringing in a totally negative vibe, we strictly keeping peace inside this deeply herbal tribe. Yeah. Look around the room, this is what it's all about. Yeah, yeah. Look around the room, this is what it's all about. Bring the drums back. Bring the drums back, let them knock. The final verse dropping as the venue clears out, removing every single microscopic piece of doubt that the hip-hop and the blues is the ultimate connect, commanding from the listener a heavy deep respect. The roach is burning hot, right against the fingertip, taking one last heavy and spectacular kind of trip into the stratosphere, carried by the boom bap beat, avoiding the deception and the industry deceit. We keeping it organic, strictly grown from the earth, knowing exactly what the 90s golden era's worth. So let the green room fill with the heaviest of clouds. We playing for the soul, we ain't playing for the crowds. The groove is deeply permanent, etched into the wax, allowing every single weary traveler to relax. We wrap the session up, let the brass slowly fade, reflecting on the legendary heavy moves we made. Yeah, the green room groove.
Only the real ones allowed. La la, pack up the gear, yeah. We got a few more stops to make. We the real ones allowed. Yeah.
Yeah, we hit the bottom of the reserve. Nothing left in the glass but the stems and the dust. But that's where the blues comes from, right? The struggle. La la, just mic up that acoustic, keep the drums raw. We gon' make this last little bit count. I tip the jar upside down, tap the glass on the wood, trying to gather up the pieces just exactly like I should. When the stash is running low, when the night is getting long, you gotta put the final fragments deep inside a heavy song. I got the stems on the tray, picking out the little leaves, got the heavy acoustic crying like it deeply grieves for the end of the supply, but the rhythm never dies. I roll a tiny little paper right before my very eyes. It's a struggle kind of joint, but the paper's burning slow, illuminating all the shadows with the tiny orange glow. The kick drum is a heartbeat, naked on the studio floor. Ain't a heavy sub bass hiding perfectly behind the door. Just the strings of the guitar vibrating on the wood, and the boom bap holding down the neighborhood. I take a careful little pull, don't wanna waste a single hit, sitting in the heavy darkness deeply in the middle of it. Yeah, down to the stems, yeah, plucking on the strings. Listen to the heavy truth the golden era brings. Ain't got a lot to smoke, but the mind is flying high, painting laser pictures on a deeply purple sky. Down to the stems, yeah, plucking on the string. When the blues hit the boom bap, every single angel sing. Yeah, yeah, I passed the tiny roach, holding it with the clip. Got the heavy 90s rhythm playing softly on the lip. We don't need a massive blunt to elevate the state of mind, leaving all the artificial luxuries and stress behind. The blues was born in the dirt, the hip hop in the street. A beautiful collision, wrapping right around the beat. I scrape the grinder one more time, looking for the key, finding in the acoustic guitar a heavy sweet relief. The snare drum got a rattle like a snake up in the grass, watching all the heavy hours of the midnight slowly pass. It's a minimalist vibe, peeling back the heavy layers, sending up to the cosmos a couple herbal prayers. The cherry is microscopic, but the heat is still intense, sitting on the very edge of the heavy wooden fence, between the physical realm and the spiritual domain, washing out the final remnants of the daily pain. Yeah, easy, don't pull too hard, make it last. Drop that kick drum back in just a kick, yeah. Third verse on the fumes, but the engine running hot, giving to the microphone exactly everything I got. The stems and the strings, the beautiful to breathe, the most authentic version of exactly who I be. A 90s era poet with a totally empty jaw, but still traveling the galaxy and aiming for a star. The acoustic guitar fading, the rhythm slowing down, the quietest cipher in the center of the town. We making absolute magic out of practically nothing, turning a tiny spark into a heavy something. So let the final ember die, let the ash softly fall. We answered every single piece of the golden era call. The tape is almost finished, the stash is totally gone, but the heavy blues boom bap is gonna carry on. Yeah, stems and strings, that's the realest one yet. La la. We might need to re-up before we finish this tape.
Yeah. Good looking out on the re-up, la la. We took it all the way to the roof for this one. Look at that skyline, the whole city is down there. But we up here. Spark that heavy cone, let the saxophone breathe. Let's go. Standing on a gravel roof, looking at the street below, watching all the tiny yellow taxis moving in a row. Got a brand new jar of sticky, fresh out of the plastic bag, rolling up a heavy can and taking in a massive drag. The city is a giant grid, flashing in the neon light, but I'm completely disconnected, floating in the purple night. The snare drum cracking crisp, echoing across the edge, standing with the boom bap right beside the concrete ledge. I blow a thick cloud, watch it drift into the atmosphere, washing away the microscopic elements of daily fear. Down below the sirens wail a heavy kind of urban blues. Up here we just elevating, paying all the 90s dues. The bass line rolling smooth, creeping up the fire escape, putting on the finishing touches of this legendary tape. So let the wind blow, carry all the heavy smoke away. We looking at the city, but we got a different game to play. Clouds over the city, blowing smoke into the sky, watching all the chaos and the madness passing by. We up above the grid, yeah, the boom bap elevated. Every single mind inside the cipher strictly medicated. Clouds over the city, blowing smoke into the sky. When the blues hit the rhythm, we just spread our wings and fly. Second verse from the penthouse level, looking at the stars, dropping heavy 90s poetry and elevating bars. I pass the heavy piece, watch the water bubble up, pour a little something smooth inside a heavy plastic cup. The flute sample fluttering, catching on the midnight breeze, putting every single anxious particle complete at ease. The concrete jungle humming, but the noise is heavily muted when the rhythm and the chronic are so perfectly recruited. I flick the ash down, let it fall into the endless dark, leaving on the skyline yet another heavy herbal mark. The golden era hip-hop, acting like an anchor now, even when the gravity is trying to distill out a peaceful meditation that we currently experiencing. A heavy sonic tapestry that Lala is referencing. We float above the pavement, untouchable and totally free, with nothing but the music and a heavy bag of THC. Yeah, it's quiet up here. The higher you go, the clearer it gets. Take it higher. Don't look down. Bring the drums back and let them bounce off the glass. Third time around the cipher, the skyline getting hazy. The world beneath my sneakers acting absolutely crazy, but we sitting in a pocket, percolating encased in peace. Hoping that this heavy elevation doesn't ever cease. The roach is getting smaller, paper turning into ash. We ain't looking for the spotlight, we ain't looking for the cash. Just a rooftop sanctuary built upon a heavy beat, far away from all the dirty puddles in the heavy street. The saxophone wail a deeply mellow killer tune, floating right beside the heavy silver of the midnight moon. I take a final pull, a cherry burning super bright, guiding all the heavy ships across the ocean of the night. So let the clouds gather, let the heavy rhythm slowly ride. Got the universe and the boom bap completely on my side. We step away from the edge, heading back into the stair, leaving nothing but a heavy cloud of chronic in the air. Yeah, clouds over the city. We almost at the finish line. La la. Cue up that final track, let's take it all the way home.
Yeah. We made it to the end of the reel. 20 tracks deep, a heavy journey through the smoke. Lala, you built a masterpiece on the boards, my friend. Gather around the center. We closing out the cipher right. Let the organ swell. The studio is cloudy, the ashtrays overflow. We sitting in the aftermath, a heavy golden glow. The tape is almost finished, the spool is running thin, reflecting on the legendary era we are in. I break the final nug down, a beautiful reserve, hitting every single pocket, riding every curve of the boom bap rhythm and the heavy bluesy bass. We brought a little piece of heaven down into the space. I roll it in a heavy leaf, seal it with a spark, a solitary lighthouse shining brightly in the dark. This ain't just an album, it's a spiritual retreat, a sonic medication perfectly laid on the beat. I take a massive pull and feel the history connect, giving all the architects the ultimate respect, who built the 90s foundation out of vinyl and the pain. We passing around a peace pipe, dancing in the rain of the rhythm and the poetry, a beautiful release.
Pass the peace pipe,
let the circle close,
let the circle close. Breathe the heavy healing in,
watch the way it goes, yeah. Yeah, from the left to the right, keep the energy combined. The heaviest the blues, that blues that you will ever find.
Pass the peace pipe, yeah. Let the circle close.
When the boom bap hits the soul, everybody knows. I pass it to my brother, watch him take a heavy hit. We sitting in the center where the heavy legends sit. Ain't nobody looking at the clock upon the wall, answering the universe's deeply herbal call. The slide guitar is crying out a melancholy tune, floating right below the heavy silver of the moon. We took the pain and sorrow, the struggle and the stress, and put it through the MPC to thoroughly bless every single listener who puts the tape on play, washing all the paranoia totally away. Lala kept the tempo sitting perfectly in line, making sure the vintage aesthetic beautifully shines. So we celebrate the moment, a heavy victory, riding down a chapter in the boom bap history. The peace pipe is traveling, the cherry glowing red, yeah. Silencing the static that was rattling in the head until there's nothing left but the rhythm and the soul, making sure the fractured human spirit becomes whole. Yeah, take a look around, this is what it's all for, the connection.
Bring the heavy drums back
for the final up.
Bring the heavy drums back,
Yeah.
bring the heavy drums back,
Bring the heavy drums back for the final act.
heavy drums back, bring the heavy
Third verse closing out the chronic chronicles tonight. Stepping from the heavy shadows out into the light. The roach is microscopic, burning right against the skin. A heavy testament to all the places we have been. We navigated through the blues, we rode a heavy bass, leaving up a permanent and totally elevated trace inside the atmosphere carried by the heavy wind, knowing exactly where to end and where to begin. The 90s era golden, forever perfectly preserved, giving every hip-hop head exactly what they serve. A masterpiece of audio, of resin and the rhyme, yeah. Standing up defiantly against the test of time. I take the final pull, let the ember turn to dust, placing in the universe a totally absolute trust. So let the organ fade, let the choir slowly hum. We're ready for exactly whatever is gonna come. Yeah. Pass the peace pipe. The circle is complete. Huge shout out to Lala for the vision and the heavy production. To
To everyone listening, stay elevated, keep the blues in your soul and the boom bap in your step.